I've been. We have services, but we could all be sharpening each other. So, I love the stuff that he has, and so I took his suggestion and ordered me some bulletproof coffee. Now, the bulletproof coffee is a little expensive, Karen. It's like $18 for the coffee, but it comes from a small farm in Guatemala. They handpick these coffee beans. It doesn't have any mold and toxins in it. I didn't know that coffee has molds and toxins. And there are certain coffees that you drink and immediately you get a headache, or you get like head rushes or cravings immediately after you drink these coffees. And the reason why is because of the toxins that are in the coffee. In the processing part of the coffee is kind of where they get these molds and toxins from. So I didn't know that. So this is how you make bulletproof coffee. You take 8 ounces of water, 2 tablespoons of the bulletproof coffee, and 2 tablespoons of MCT coconut oil. Who knew? You take some grass-fed butter and you put it all in there together. You blend it for 30 seconds and you drink it like a latte. It's amazing. I mean, amazing. And he'd been, on the show, he talks about it all the time, but I was like, holy moly. So I did. So I tried it, man, and it's the real thing. Forward to hearing your laugh.
I don't understand your question.
She did. I don't think she asked a question. She said, "I look forward to hearing your blab."
Oh, you guys do blab right? That's not a question. That's a compliment.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah,
I got it.
It's a compliment. Yeah.
Hey, well, let's get this thing popping. I mean, I'm already recording, but welcome to the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. We are still going through The Alchemist and making some progress through this thing. Not just reading for entertainment, but studying and extracting some gold nuggets from it. And hopefully, as we continue to go through this, other people are turning some of their lots in life, their lead into gold as we peruse through this book, this life-changing book by Paulo Coelho. I am your host, ERGJ, certified financial educator, and Mr. Beatles is in the building.
What's happening, everybody? This is Mr. Beatles, Mr. Wealthy, Healthy, Happy, your financial planner and small business developer. How is everybody doing? Man, I'm motivated. I'm so motivated. I put on my my half marathon shirt just to take me back to when I ran my half marathon, just because I felt that good.
Karen says she actually ordered a book and she doesn't like to read. That's cool. You're a writer, but not a reader. Hopefully, you're gonna read your own book. The book is already in you, and so man, this book is awesome, man. And I'm glad to see that you are super motivated. I'm getting my mojo back. There's some I got some things coming up tomorrow, man. I'm gonna get to do what I love to do tomorrow, man. Be teaching the kids about money.
Kid Vest going on tomorrow, man.
Going on tomorrow, man. So I'm super excited about that. Finally got my deck finished. The presentation, and I haven't even checked to see how many people are registered. I'll check that today, man. But it's been shared quite a bit, so we'll see how many kids we actually have on our webinar tomorrow. As we as we teach them about money, man, throwing them early. So I'm super excited about that. And it's interesting when you have something that you love to do and something that you look forward to doing, how much energy you can get to do it. When you have something that you love to do and something that you look forward to doing, how much energy you can get to doing it. I mean, it'll have you staying up. It'll have you completing the work. It'll have you because you want to be on point. You don't want to let anyone down, and you want to give it your all. You want to go that extra mile to make sure that those that are in attendance get everything that they can out of it. So, hey, we're taking all comers, man. This is the youth financial plan that I'll be rolling out and showing the kids as well as adults what to do with $1. I just realized that I target the kids because if you target the kids, then the adults will come. But if you target the adults, no one will show. So I just target the kids. But it's simple concepts that anyone can take something away, but kids just seem to be a sponge and they're willing to, and they're in a place in life to learn all that they can learn. So That's what's going on with me, man. Just ready to rock and roll tomorrow and finishing up things today, man. But today we are still going. This part of the story, man, we lock into on the way to the Oasis. And once we get to the Oasis, it's a long stretch before a break because there's a lot going on once they actually reach the Oasis. But today we want to kind of talk about this journey to the Oasis and what we find. We found two characters in Santiago and the Crystal Merchant. Now we have the other two characters between Santiago and the Englishman, and then also one other character is introduced, which is the camel driver, which is he's a very important piece in the story as well. But the Englishman, what I found, the Englishman, Santiago is he's a shepherd, right? And he's a very simple guy, simple dude, you know what I'm saying? Learning from nature, learning from the sheep, learning from, everything that he kind of comes in contact with. And we find an Englishman who is on his journey for his personal legend to become an alchemist. So all of his lessons come through study, come through books, come through digging deep. And one of the biggest things that jumped off the page to me, as I was reading through this, and we'll talk about quite a few things, was the question of why do we have to make things so complicated? Why do we have to make things so complicated? And so as Santiago was reading these books that the Englishman had presented to him, he was like, hey, after I read all of this stuff that you read, they're all saying the same thing, and it seems to be very simple. But the Englishman is saying that, hey, well, it's simple to you, but I want things to be complicated. And I think that could be the case for many of us in our lives. Again, we learn things differently. But when we get different perspectives on the way in which we're learning things, someone else could come into our life right now and say, man, it really is that simple. And we could say in our minds that, no, it's not that simple. Like, it can't be that simple because if it was simple, everyone would do it, right? And Santiago is saying that, hey, from what I've read, what I've seen, not only just from your books, but also from my experience in life, is that anyone can turn lead into gold. Anyone really can. You don't have to be an alchemist to turn lead into gold. Matter of fact, you are an alchemist because you have the ability to turn whatever is given to you, your lot in life. You have the ability to turn it into gold. Now, the way in which you learn and go about doing it, that's your choice. Whether you want to make it complicated, whether you decide to go through the study part, whether you just, however it is that you choose to learn, that could be your complication. But at the surface of it all, at the crust of it all, it really is very, very simple.
Man, that's like doing the 9 daily disciplines or the 10 core commitments that one of my mentors, Jeff Olson, talks about all the time. And when you're developing your keys to success, there are some simple things that you have to do every single day in order for you to become successful. And these things are not hard to do, but they are hard not to do. They're very easy to do, but they're also easy not to do, rather.
Yeah.
And if you take, for example, I always love, I love to talk about the working out piece because I think that everybody can identify with that, even if you're not an athlete, so to speak. But we all, we want to feel better. We want to maybe we want to eat healthier. Maybe we want to shed a few pounds as we get a little bit older. It's hard to kind of keep that sexy figure together. So there are some things that you can do that are very easy to do, but then they're very easy not to do. And those things are make sure that you have maybe a proper shake in the morning. Make sure that you go to the gym at least 2 to 3 times a week and work out for at least 20 to 30 minutes. And have good, clean meals throughout the day. These are 3 things that are very easy to do. This is called success. This is the alchemy of life. This is transforming your current habits into very good habits that can also transform your body. But how many people can consistently stay on that kind of a regimen, that type of alchemy? And we can take that and we can use that for every other area of our life, right? If it's becoming a successful entrepreneur, that might mean that you need to make 50 calls a day in order for you to get 5 new clients. How many times do you miss the 50 calls a day? And what does that equal at the end of the year? How many clients have you missed? The alchemy of life is very, very simple, but it's also very simple not to do as well.
Well, it's simple but not easy. Like you said, it's easy to do, but
That's
it's
it.
also easy not to do. It's easy. It's easy. It's simple. I mean, we know at the end of the day, man, most of us know what to do. It's just a matter of what
Yeah.
we do. And I was thinking about this last night. I was saying, man, we can think about doing all the time, but are we actually people that are actually going to do what we think? You think about what to do, but will you do what you do? Will you do what you think? And that really is the action part. But that's really the journey part. And I think that as this story travels along, it goes along, I'm looking at these different places that Santiago finds himself, and these different places he could choose to get stuck, or choose to move forward. He could have stayed in Tangier where he was becoming a successful crystal merchant. He could have just stayed there and been stuck and ended up being like the crystal merchant for the next 30, 40 years. It's probably been successful, right? But that wasn't his personal legend. And now we find him on his journey on his way to the pyramids, but he's got another stop, which is the Oasis. And that's another place that he could end up finding himself stuck. Why? Because now he's met another woman that he is falling in love with, and we'll get into that next week because we're going to talk about the power of love next week. But he has plenty of opportunities to get stuck in life on his journey towards his personal legend, and he has to make the decision to continue to move forward, continue to go after his personal legend. And the alchemists call it interesting. The alchemists call it the master work. The master work of the alchemist was to really take these different elements, understanding the soul of the world, having a liquid part, which is the elixir of life, and then mixing that with the purification stone, which is the philosopher's stone. And for them, it seems like their masterwork, their turning lead into gold, is to purify themselves. To stay by the fire for so long that all of the toxins, all of the negative thoughts, you become 100% pure by staying in the fire long enough. And that's for the alchemist. And so it seems for Santiago that his purification, his masterwork, is to continue on the journey of all of the ups and the downs, the hills and the valleys, the detours and everything, to get to his treasure, which is his personal legend, which actually becomes his masterwork. And I think that Santiago is making this connection to say that, hey, yeah, I've learned about caravans, but also I can see the same principles in the work of the alchemist. And we see the Englishman who is saying that, hey, here's what I'm going after. He may not, but he doesn't necessarily seem to see the connection or the principles that can be applied in no matter what element of life that you find yourself in.
Yeah. Everybody has their own path. And what I think is very interesting is that we're starting to see that Santiago is making the connection between what the Englishman is doing as the alchemist and the person that he is. And it's all the same thing, just like you just said. We are all alchemists. And I wrote down a few notes here, and I said that we all receive these ideas from the universe. And the ideas from the universe, when we initially receive them, they are received in the form of leads and lower metals. And it is through the process of alchemy. It is you taking one of those ideas, you taking your definite major purpose when you initially get it, writing it down and saying, you know what, this is what I'm getting ready to go after. I'm getting ready to transform this one idea into the thing that I do for the rest of my life. I'm going to turn this thing into gold. Now you are on your trajectory. You're on your path. You are on your way through the wilderness, into the desert, through the desert, and into your promised land. And through that process, through that entire working of the all the adjustments that you have to make, the losing of friends and family, the challenges that you may have with money, the ups and downs of your business, the writer's block that you get, the weight that you gain, the weight that you lose, all of that is a part of the refinement process. And every piece of that, every step that you take along your path is for the working of your gold. the stuff that you're going to receive in the end.
Yeah. So I would ask, for those that, are listening to this message, watching this show, what is it that you are willing to turn into gold? What is it that you're willing to turn into gold? Because again, we're talking about everyone has their own path. Everyone has different things that come into their life. Everyone has a different vocation. Everyone has different opportunities. But you absolutely can turn lead into gold. The question is, are you willing? What are you willing to put the effort in, the time, the effort, the understanding of, in order to turn whatever that is that you have into gold? Man, Mike, you in the dark, brother. You have absolutely no light. This is your first blab. How you doing?
What's up? What's going on?
I think he's trying to talk, but he doesn't have any volume coming in. Oh, I can hear you a little bit. You trying to work out the kinks? No, we don't hear anything if you're talking.
Mic check.
Are you on your PC or your mobile? Laptop? Oh, okay. You gotta work out some of the audio things on your laptop, brother.
All right, hit us back.
Yeah, hit us back. So so as we go through, it's like I'm saying, for me, I'm saying to myself, man, I've had all these different things. Even right now, I have a lot of things that are going on that can be turned into gold. And I want to make sure that people don't. A lot of times when we hear gold, all we think about is value. Maybe all we think about is money. And I think that there's much more symbolism in the gold than it is the value of that gold that may be here on the earth. You've got the purification process that gold goes through. It's one of the most purest metals, in the world. It has a ton of value. And it's interesting that the Englishman said that if everyone understood this very simple concept, that everyone would be able to turn lead into gold, and then gold would lose its value because there would be too much gold on the earth. And that's one of the funny things about life that I see, is that everyone absolutely does have the ability to turn lead into gold. And it could cause gold to become less valuable. But I understand that no matter how many people turn lead into gold, everybody won't do it. No matter, even if everyone knows how to do it, everyone still simply won't do it. And that's one of the things that I found in my business, and probably you too, Mr. Bills, in your business, and the things that you and probably everyone else that's here, is that it really doesn't matter if you're doing the same thing or similar things that a lot of other people are doing. What we find in life to be true is that no matter if everyone knows how to do it, everyone simply just won't do it. And so they still need your product or your service, because they're not the individual that's actually going to go and do what it is that they know they should do. And so they would rather, we all put ourselves in a position where we pay people to do the things that we simply just don't want to do. We pay people to show us things that we simply just don't want to learn. And it could be a matter of, well, we just, you only have so much time in a day. You can only focus on so many things. So you're going to have that interdependence with other people in order to have the great life that you want to live, because you can't you really don't have the time to learn everything. If you took the time to try to learn everything, you simply would run out of time. Your life would be over before you ever experienced it, because you're trying to learn everything. And I think that's kind of what the Englishman is doing. He's that guy that's trying to learn everything.
Yeah.
And it's nothing wrong with that, but I believe that there is an interdependence. You do have to connect with other people to be a part of their excellence and the things that they are, the areas that they are excellent in order to really experience this life in a great way, because you simply don't have the time to read all the books. You don't have the time to be an expert in everything. You just don't have the time. You just don't.
Right. And but there's also something to be appreciated about the Englishman as well, is that we have to have this balance of doing and studying. And one of the challenges that many entrepreneurs face is that we have the good idea, but we won't necessarily invest the time to become experts in our field. And so we'll go out and we step in and we do a lot of the action or a lot of the activity, however, without a lot of the technical information behind it. And we may have some marginal success, but we might not necessarily achieve the levels of success that we desire. And we are average for most of our careers or most of our lives simply because we have not done the knowledge. And so Santiago, you hear him say in this section that we just read, is that, you know, both of them, their paths are different, but they're both trying to achieve the same things. And he understood that there is something to gain from each one of their approaches to life, and there's something to be appreciated. And I just thought that was real valuable.
Yeah, I think it really helps too, especially as becoming accountability partners for people and as coaches for people, and their different ways in which they operate. Really understanding that, you know, my journey isn't your journey, but you can grab something from my journey, but you still have to go on a journey yourself. So when I talk to people about, you know, becoming debt free, when I talk to people about living the abundant life in your finances, I recognize that there are challenges that you really individually are going to have to overcome. You can be inspired by my story, but my story isn't your story. What we're trying to do is help you create your story to inspire someone else. But recognizing that you're different, that your path is different, and having a respect for that path. You know, how many of you guys are on your path, and you've had people in your life that simply just didn't respect your path. They wanted to change your path. They wanted your path to be like theirs. They wanted you to be very, very identical to themselves instead of just appreciating your differences and saying that, hey, I respect you because you're different, and you're on your own path towards your master work, towards your personal legend, towards accomplishing the things that God has put you here on the earth to accomplish. And then once we both individually accomplish our master work, now we are able to actually combine these things together to offer even more contribution to the world. And I think if every one of us respected one another in that manner, we wouldn't see some of the things that we see in this world today. We wouldn't see, obviously, some of the racism that we see in the world today. We wouldn't see some of the inequalities that we see in the world today, because we would give each and every one the liberty and the respect for them to follow their own personal legend and to accomplish their own master work. And if everybody could accomplish their master work, man, this world will be such a much better place, because we will have the contribution of perfection from everyone.
Oh my God, man. This is man, look, it is all about finding yourself and appreciating the path that everyone is on. And again, to your point, everybody's path is different. Everybody's challenge, everybody's course, the upbringing has molded us into the choices that we make on a day-to-day basis. And again, if we can find the courage to appreciate somebody else's opinion, knowing that their opinion may add value to your life, knowing that the way that somebody else experiences the world may challenge the way and the things that you look at, and those things, and that's okay. It's okay for you to look at. It might be okay for you to look at your religion and say, you know what, I've been this for so many years, only reading this particular text, but there is so much value in reading the writings of Buddha or the works of Carl Jung. It's okay to learn from other people, and that's the reason why we're here. Again, the reason why we're on this, the reason why the people are following the guy that is taking them through the desert is because they're all on this caravan together, and they can't make it across the desert without one another. And we have to be able to appreciate, these parts of life, man. We got to be able to appreciate the good stuff that everybody has to offer, because everybody has something worth gleaning from.
There's something about this caravan of life, man, that's really stuck out to me. And as you mentioned, like, I've just found in life, man, that we're actually more similar than we are different. The only
Very much.
differences are maybe, the part of the country that you were, raised, or, or the part of the part of the world which you were, living in. You might speak a different language, things like that. But there is this language of the world, which we're really has been pointed out in the book. There are certain things that don't take talking to understand from someone else. I can go to Mexico, or I can go to France, or I can go to Africa, and there can be a communication that's taking place, and there can be this element of love that's going on, without us really being able to communicate in English. From the countenance of your smile to the enthusiasm that you bring, or just from the very basic necessities of life that you may need. We are all very, very much more similar than we are different. I think one of the major differences, though, is that whether you are working towards accomplishing your personal legend or you're not. I think that is one of the major differences that can bring a conflict, because if I am one person that is, hell bent on accomplishing my purpose, or completing my purpose, and then I'm around people who have no idea what their purpose is, and they don't care whether they live it out or not, then there could be a conflict there, just from working, being around people that are actually going after something, but the necessities of life are still needed. Everyone needs to eat. Everyone needs to drink. Hopefully, we want everyone to be healthy. We want everyone to be happy, and we want everybody to be wealthy. So these basic things that we go after, and that we look to accomplish, we look to lead in our life. They're very similar to everyone. So we're fighting over the same stuff. We could be working together to help everyone achieve it.
Yeah, we just don't know how to effectively. We don't know how to express that. And as you were talking about that, man, I also think that the reason why we have so many of these challenges is because people don't want to be left in the desert alone. So those that aren't sure what their definite major purpose is, they aren't sure what's on the other side of the desert. They're not sure about it, but they're all traveling. They're all moving, and we're moving in the same direction. But what we find is that some people are moving through the desert faster than others. And in those lonely moments when you're in the desert by yourself and somebody comes up alongside of you, you want them to keep you company. And you find that in life is that people that are lonely, they want that. They want that company. We hear that phrase all the time: misery loves company. And people are miserable only because they haven't found the definite major purpose yet. They're holding on to the metals of life, these really good ideas, but they don't know how to transform them into something that's valuable for them. So they remain stuck. And again, in that being stuck, they try to hold on to anything that looks like it has a little bit of life. And you got to give them what you can and keep it moving.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that they know they have these metals of life and they have these great ideas. They just don't know how to make it. They don't know how to turn it into gold. And I would say, for most people, for anyone that's like looking for ways to turn what they have into gold. Now, I'm actually going to talk about this on Saturday, how to create multiple streams of income from the things that you love. So that's one of the finance blabs that I'm going to do on Saturday, Miss Karen. But all you got to really do is start to express it. Once you begin to start to express that which is in you, you don't really know whether you have a good idea or a bad idea until you see the response from other people. I mean, you can have the best idea in the world, but if other people aren't responding to it, then it's really not the best idea for the world. It's just the best idea for you. But you really, all you gotta do is really start to express it, and then as you begin to express that which is within you, you'll begin to be led to other things that would refine your idea, and help it to be even that much better. You start to connect with people who can help you take your idea to the next level. You'll start to recognize what works and what doesn't work. But you can still have this great idea. You can still have these things within you. The problem is that most people just don't want to express it. Not that they don't. That is the biggest piece. Not that they don't know how. They just won't express it. Or it may be the best idea at this time. Yeah, it could be right now that this is a good idea. You do it right now. But I know for me, I've had quite a few ideas that I just chose not to express. And I've had quite a few ideas that just wasn't for me to express. It's been for other people. I've come across, oh, that's not for me. It's for you, or it's for Mr. Beatles, or for whatever. That wasn't for me. It wasn't for me to go through and do all of this. I'm staying in my lane. And I get ideas sometimes that are not my lane. I might choose to work on them or not. But I typically give them to the people for whom I think is in their lane, and I continue to work and stay in my lane. Because, again, you can't study everything. You can't learn everything. You can learn a lot, but you can't read every book. And if you really want to be successful, I would say you want to master at least one field and not be just a jack of everything. Be a master of, don't be a jack of everything and a master of none. Be a master of something, and then, express out from there. But, don't be a jack of everything and not be an expert in one thing. And then people don't know what to come to you for other than good advice, which is fine. Yeah. But, what are you elite at? What is it that we can count on you for in this world? What is your master work? And again, it's interesting, that word, master work. You're a master, you're elite, you're great, you're awesome. And then work is one thing. It's not works. It's not master works. It's master work. So what is the work that you are a master at? What is the work that you are elite at? What is the work that you are saying, I'm going to be an expert in this one thing? Not that you can't do other things, but what are you going to be an expert in? That's the question today. And so, Mr. Beatles, the last individual before we close this out is the camel driver that he met on his journal. He's talking to him, and this camel driver is very interesting as well, because we're gonna practicing one kick 10,000 times. Absolutely. This camel driver is the guy that I think helps Santiago to live in the moment. And we talked about this day, the topic being life is the moment we're living right now. And the camel driver basically said that, life will be a part of your grand festival because life is the moment we're living right now. You learn from your past and you dream in the future, but you're living right now, the present moment, in the moment. And so are you able today, each and every moment, to experience it fully and live in the moment? Are you able to do that today? I think dreaming of your future, that's a great thing to do, at night. Learning from the past is a great thing to do when you first wake up in the morning, but all throughout the day is a journey of living in the present moment.
That's so good. That's my kids are teaching me that. My wife is teaching me that every single day. To be more present in the moment. And it was sometime last year, and my son, he was having some challenges in school. Right towards the beginning of school. He kind of got off to a slow start, and he was, we all thought that he was bringing home, we thought that he was doing his homework and all of his stuff was being turned in on time. And we get his first progress report, and only to find out that, he was missing a lot of assignments, and we're like, man, you're doing your homework every single day. We ask you if you're doing your homework. You tell me you're doing your homework. But when we get the progress report, the homework is not being done. What's going on? And I had to take inventory of where was I, really in this whole homework process. Was I really present? And I started finding a reoccurring theme is that I was really busy, and I was so busy that I would kind of allow everybody to do their thing without me actually inserting myself into the moment because I had my own stuff going on. Dad was being busy. He was working on whatever he was working on. But it wasn't until I took a step back and realized that, man, I can't be so busy that I am missing the opportunity to engage in the moment, to like really be present in my kids' lives, to really listen to what happened throughout the day, to talk to my wife about all of the amazing things that she's creating and engage in that dialogue so that we can have a fruitful, healthy, wealthy, happy relationship. And when I took that step back, when I recognized that I was always living in the future, what can I create next? I'm always thinking about what I can create next. So I don't really have time to invest right now, because right now is right now, but I need to get to the other side of the desert. So I can't really pay attention to what's going on right here in the moment. But I took that step back. I started paying attention, and it has been the change of all changes for me, because I'm having the good stuff. The good stuff is happening because it's all happening right now in the moment.
Yeah, I think that I hope that everyone will take that away from today, that life is the moment we're living right now. You only have right now. And I know for many of us, we're high achievers. We're people that want to get stuff done. We're living in the future, trying to become the person that we see. But take the time today, and take the time every day to pay attention. I know for me, same thing, Mr. Beatles, even in some of the talks and things, I always found myself thinking about all this other stuff and not really getting from right now what I could get from right now. And so, especially in your relationships, especially in when you're dealing with other people, your peers, your coworkers, your children, your parents, when you have that moment to connect, even right now, we're connecting. Hopefully you're in the moment right now. Hopefully you're getting what you can get. You're grasping from this. You're getting all the wine that you can get even from right now. And you do that all throughout the day. You have your moments throughout the day where you're by yourself, maybe in the car or whatever. You can kind of wander off and thought, and dream and think and learn and all that stuff. But I would say, especially when it comes to your relationships, you always want to be present, because your presence is a present to the individual for whom you are connected to. Let me say that again. Your presence is a present to the individual for whom you are connected to. Well, guys, it's that time. I know you guys are like, man, we need some more of this. And guess what? You can get it again Monday at 7 a.m. because we do this Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Same bat time, same bat channel, 7 a.m. Eastern time. You can also find us on wealthyhealthyhappy.net. That's a place for you to connect. That's a place for you to get some more personal development. We're going through The Alchemist. It's about turning lead into gold, turning your life into a life of value, turning everything that comes into your hand and making something out of it. And so hopefully, you'll do that. Hopefully you'll get something from this. Hopefully you'll have an absolutely phenomenal day, and you'll be present in every moment so that you can be a presence to those who are connected to you. Well, I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator. We got Mr. Beatles in the building.
Man, it has been a beautiful, beautiful blab. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and do what you do everything you can to take action and to be present in the moment, because the moment is all we have. We are wealthy, we are healthy, we're happy, and we are out.
Have a great weekend.